Iteration, locating roots with adamonlinetutoring. Here's the beginner question, one of the easier questions that you're likely to find on this topic. Show that the equation has a root between x equals 0 and x equals 0.5. The sign change method, also known as the decimal search method or the interval bisection method, will help us to answer this question. It's a numerical technique used to find an approximate solution to an equation of the form f of x equals 0. The method relies upon the principle that if a continuous function f of x changes sign over an interval, then there must be at least one root of the equation f of x equals 0 within that interval. For example, if I take a quadratic which looks like this, substituting f of 1 or x equals 1 will give me an output above the x-axis, which is positive, whereas if I substituted f of 3 or x equals 3, this would give me an output below the x-axis, which is negative. We can see that there's a change of sign from being negative to positive or positive to negative, and the reason for that is because we have crossed over the x-axis, and by definition, when we have a function or an equation equal to 0, crossing over the x-axis indicates that there must be a root in between those two values. So how we answer the question to achieve full marks: when given the equation or the function, we first need to make sure that it's equal to 0, which in this case it is, and we start by inputting our x value of 0 by substituting 0 cubed plus 6 lots of 0 squared minus 9 lots of 0 plus 2 gives me an output of 2, and substituting an input of 0.5 gives me an output of negative 0.875. As the outputs have switched from being positive to negative or negative to positive, a change of sign indicates that a root lies between this interval of 0 and 0.5. It's important that you include and write this concluding statement in your answer. On to the intermediate question with an increase in difficulty. Show that the equation x cubed minus x plus 2 equals 0 has a root between x is negative 1 and x is negative 2. Important that this is already equal to 0, starting with x is equal to negative 1. Negative 1 cubed is negative 1. Subtracting negative 1 is the same as adding 1, and then adding 2 gives me an output of 2. Repeating the process for negative 2. Negative 2 cubed is negative 8. Subtracting negative 2 is the same as adding 2, and then plus 2 will give me negative 4. Therefore, a change of sign with the output from being positive to negative or negative to positive. A change of sign indicates a root. On to the advanced question, one of the trickier questions that you're likely to find on this topic. Show that the equation x squared minus 3x equals 3 this time has a solution between negative 0.5 and negative 1. The reason for the word solution rather than root is because this equation is not equal to 0. It's equal to 3. That's actually the starting point of the question. To be able to use the sign change method, we need to make sure that the equation is equal to 0. We can do that by subtracting 3 from both sides of the equation. X squared minus 3x minus 3 equals 0. Substituting my input of negative 0.5. I do have a calculator for this question, and I get negative 1.25. And substituting negative 1, and I get an output of 1. We can see that the sign has changed, and therefore a change of sign indicates a solution. Here's a question that I've completed earlier. It appears as though I've made some mistakes. Pause the video and see if you can spot what they are before writing some corrections in the comments below.
Thanks for watching. If you found that video useful, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment. If you're struggling with topics or finding maths difficult, subscribe and turn on notifications to receive regular updates about new video tutorials and other useful content. You can visit and follow all of my socials by clicking the links in the description below.